Okay guys, this is how I wrap models when I ship them out. I usually measure between the two wheelbases and cut a strip of wrapping bubble paper that goes in there. And what I'm going to do is wrap it around and around and around until the wheels are not touching. So you've got like a bubble in the middle. That takes the pressure off your axles and wheels so that they don't come loose. If you have mirrors on the side, which this one doesn't, you can cut thinner pieces, one that goes on each side of the mirror. Yeah, it's cut a little bit too big, but you want to make it so where it's one on each side of the mirror. Then when you wrap around, it's going to be thick enough to pad that mirror area also. So I'll be right back with you. Here we are again. I've gone ahead and wrapped the bubble wrap. And as you can see, it makes a padding around the middle of it, so that even if it's sitting on the ground, you can see that the wheels don't touch. It's all suspended. And that should help to prevent any damage to the wheels, because they're not actually going to be touching anything. And when you wrap your bubble wrap around, you can see that it does not come in contact with the tires. It will actually come out here, and I'll show you that step next. Now I have my bubble wrap ready. Of course, I'm going to wrap it like everybody does, just like this here. As you can see, again, the wheels aren't going to touch the bubble wrap. And we'll roll it up like this. What that does is keep all the pressure off of everything that's on the outside. Now, a lot of people are going to take them and they're going to fold the ends over and bring them under here and tape them. I don't do that because you can loosen up the bumpers. What I normally do is I just take the ends and I wrap a piece of tape around the end here so it's held together. But I don't actually make it any pressure on the front of the model. I'll take a piece like this here and I'll just tape it so that it's closed, but yet it's not tight against the front end. Same way with the rear end. If you go like this and bend it up real tight and you tape it, take a good chance of loosening up that bumper, even if it's moving around, especially in a box. Once you've got it that way, got both ends taped, you actually have air plus bubble wrap padding at the front and the rear. Again, looking at the bottom, the wheels aren't touching, so you've got a really good cushioned wrap right there. Then normally, you're going to put a layer of popcorn down, set this in the middle, and a lot of times with this extended out here and taped, it will take up some of the room of the box and give it like a little bit of restriction so it can't move, and that model's going to stay in the center of the box. Instead of if you wrap it around, then you've got it the shape of the model, and it's got a chance to bounce around in the box. So I go like this with it in there, and then of course I'm going to put my peanuts around it. You want probably at least 2 inches of peanuts all the way around, and that's pretty much how I ship them. And the biggest secret, I think, is this center piece right here that keeps everything isolated, I guess you'd call it. It's just like if you were put a bunch of us in inner tubes in a semi, we're not going to hit each other because we're going to bump into each other's bubble wrap. So that's how I do it. Usually works every time. Again, it's very important on these ends that you don't wrap them up like this and tape them, because you take a chance of loosening the front and rear bumpers. It also brings the pressure back up against the tires. You want that to be open, and just air is fine. If you've got it wrapped up, that air that's in there is going to be enough to keep it and hold it still. So that's pretty much it. Thank you. Okay, so I decided to go ahead and wrap it up and show you in a box. So what I've done is my wrap all the way around the model, and then my ends, all I did is curl them up a little bit and tape them so that there's still looseness at the bumpers and the front end. Same on the back. There's air in there. It's not tight up against the model. And by leaving it long like this, the box I'm showing you here, it's gonna sit in there. Now, I would put first a layer of peanuts in here, then you're going to set it inside. But if you look at, by leaving it longer on the ends instead of wrapping it up tight, it also gives you some automatic, keeps it in the center of the box. And then with your peanuts all the way around, that's going to stay isolated right in the center of the box. You've got, this box is just enough for one car to do a good job. If you're doing two cars, you can even do it on the side, because with this center piece built up, you're not going to touch anywhere on the car. It's all going to be on that center piece. So you could put two bottom to bottom, and their wheels will never touch because they're both going to touch right here at the padding. So if you had another one here that had the padding, they would, and again up here, you can see that nothing's ever going to touch the edge of the box as far as the model goes. So that's the way that I pack them. And I think, again, the secret is this piece that goes in the middle. That keeps your suspension isolated. If you have mirrors, you can put it on opposite sides of the mirror and still create that center piece. And you can see how thick it is, that it's going to pad where that mirror is at. So it works real good for mirrors also. The rest of it you want to leave loose. Just leave it loose at the front and the rear. That model's not going anywhere in there because I've got it taped here. So that's the way that I package, and I hope that that helps in your packaging as well. Thanks. Bye. Okay, I've decided to show how to finish packing your model. You don't have a high budget for peanuts and all of that. I got other methods that you can use with items that you get from the grocery store or other places like that. So you see I have the model right here that I did previously. Initially, I told you put a layer of peanuts, packing peanuts, and then set this on top, of course border it filled up with peanuts. The other method you might use is, if you don't have packing peanuts, everybody gets grocery bags from the grocery store. So you have like this here. What this is a grocery bag that has other grocery bags wadded up inside of it, and then just roll it up so it's got padding, and you can use that on this side. Pull it over to see how much padding it's going to offer, and then you can do another one on the other side here, put another one on top, and close your box. So that's a method if you don't have packing peanuts. The one that Robert Fish likes to joke with me about is, you know, a lot of times people buy eggs and they don't know what to do with the cartons. Some people have friends that have farms and have chickens, and they give them to them. Other ones may just throw them away. I actually take them and use them for packing. So in this particular scenario, I've had to cut the styrofoam, and if you notice, it fits right in the box. So nice. And I guess if the styrofoam is good enough for eggs, it's going to be good enough for your model. So you want to put it in this way, so it makes a nice border of padding, at least an inch and a half on each side, in case the Postal Service pokes it with something and comes through the box. You've got plenty of padding. And then what I would do is take the peanuts and put them in here to make a layer, and then it uses less peanuts, and you're using a egg carton that you may have got at the store for your eggs. Put that on top. And something important when you go to pack it with the peanuts is going to be closing it. And the thing I found out about closing it, I tuck them down inside because you don't want that to move around at all. You want the model to stay still in there. But when you go to fill it up, you don't want it over full. You pretty much, what you've done is you've already made your level of cushion with everything that's in there. You just want to fill it up enough so that nothing can move around in the box. If you don't have packing peanuts, again, you can take your bags, this is just a single one, and wrap it up and just lay them on top like this here. And then when you go to shut it, you don't want really the peanuts to be over. You just want it enough so it closes kind of firmly. That way you're not putting pressure on anything in the model. No way does it have pressure. You don't want pressure, you just want enough to hold it in place. One other way that I do it, and it's going to take me a second to dismantle this one, but that's Robert Fish, he loves that one. My egg boxes. I'm going to empty this out. Another method that I've used is actually taking your roll of tape, and I'll take a piece of tape and I'll start it on this side and bring it down here and tape it to the bottom of the box. And then another one across this side and tape it to the bottom of the box. That keeps the model from moving around. You're basically taping it to the bottom of the box to stay in the center. There's times where if you want to eliminate a lot of shipping costs because of weight and you just want this, you've got an air pocket here. You just got to figure out a way to keep it in the middle. And so what I do is take my packing tape and wrap it down the side here onto the bottom, and you want to push it down pretty well so that it sticks on both sides. You can do it at different places. You can do it at the ends, but basically then you could actually close this up and ship it that way, but you may still want to put something on top. If you've got those kitchen bags, those work really well, the grocery bags. You could use that alone in here. A lot of times I'll wrap the model itself in one of the bags. I'll stick the model in the bag. But for the way that I do it here with closing the ends up, if you lose any parts inside of here, when the person who gets it opens it, all you need to do is just slice the tape here, slice the tape on this end, and you're going to have a tube basically. And as you unroll it, or you can shake it, see if anything's come loose and drops out, but you basically got it holding whatever pieces might have come loose, and then you just cut it at where the seam meets right here, just one slice there, and you're down to your roll in the middle, and do that the same way. That pretty much sums it up. The other thing that you can do that's really nice with the grocery bags is this. If you remember how you used to scare people with paper bags, and you'd put your hand like this here and blow into the bag, and it blows it up, and then you pop it. Same thing with these grocery bags. If you take and put it in your hand like this here so that you've got a small orifice, and you blow into the bag, you can put air into the bag. Then just make 2 regular knots like when you tie your shoe. Just 2 regular knots to knot it up, and that gives you an air bag. And what's nice about these is they will leak enough that if you need to conform them, say for example, I want to use this as packing, it's got air that you're using. Now you don't want to push it way down, because to change the size of it, all you do is push on it and let the air leak out to where you need it. Otherwise it's going to stay as a air pocket because you're not putting weight on it, you're just using it side to side to take up airspace. So that kind of completes how I finish packing and ready to ship. Again, if you're using packing peanuts, just make it to the top part of your box, and when you fold them over, you don't want it to go in like this, because then you take a chance you don't have enough padding. But you also don't want to be pushing down hard, because that puts pressure on the model. You want that to stay just idly in there without any pressure around it. That pretty much concludes, I guess, what I have for packing at this time, so I hope that helps. Talk to you later. Bye.